All right, so we are eventually what we're planning to do here is to map space, but we're going to map space in a way that is not like a photograph and not like a map. So I've got a map here. This is something I was playing around with in our neighborhood. There are a bunch of different little free libraries. So these are the little free libraries that are within 20-ish blocks of each other. So all the dots that I've circled are little free libraries, and then in this map, just so you can see it on the picture, I printed a map out from the interwebs, so you can see all of the individual bits and pieces. Like we got YVC in there as well. But what I don't want us to do is create a map like this. We know about this kind of map, and this kind of map is useful. It's a valuable map. But I want us for this project to be creating a map that is more about being in the location rather than navigating by streets and stuff like that. So what I've done here is just to give us a sense. I mean, here you can see all the streets. To give us a sense of what this looks like, if you can see through it, I've put dots in place that are the different locations. And this right now is not very useful either. But what we're going to be doing with this, what the plan is that we're going to be putting in some of these locations into our mapping of space with visuals. So notice that scale is suddenly irrelevant, because this image here, if I apply it to this space right here, is covering up 3 blocks or something like that. We are tossing scale out the window. What we are trying to represent is imagery that reminds us of locations. So this is, I've ran out of room for the cross here, but I'm going to add that in the back. This is the one little free library. This is the tree little free library. This over here is the school equipment. This one here, the school equipment that I have to actually look at to see what it actually looks like. But this spinny thing. And then I guess we got a mountain way over here somewhere. A couple of them, right? So we're going to be using real space, and you're welcome to work from a map. You're welcome to take a look at a map and see how things are. But one of the things I want you to notice about my map is that these spots that I want to include are spread out. We've got a batch here, we've got a batch here, we've got a kind of batch here, and then we've got all this empty space. And so what my plan is that we can make some simplifications in how we put things together. So for example, we can I guess I should bring that the other way. We can make some changes in our space, because if someone were navigating from here to here, they don't need necessarily to understand what it's like being here. They don't necessarily need to see all of this like just boring, okay, these are streets, there's nothing going on. We're wanting people to get from an interesting spot to an interesting spot. And then I think my daughter's got a drawing of this one. It's real wide, and this is the one with light bulbs at the bottom. So it's not that, I mean, yes, in navigating in real life, if you're driving a car, you want to know those sorts of things. But if you think of your memory of driving to work, you don't remember carefully all of the little bits and pieces. You don't remember, okay, that was 8 blocks on that street, and you remember there's a McDonald's over there, and there's a car wash over there that always has a funny sign, and I have to turn when I get to this street. So I'm suggesting that if you'd like to start from a physical map, that's great. You can also think of this in a slightly different way, and that is, how do I think of this space? So I think of, okay, there's the tree here, and there's the church here. Oops, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's the church building here, the church little free library here, and you can see my theme here is these little free libraries. And then there's, I don't know, some stuff, and then there's the school thing that you spin in, and then there's the library that has the lights below it, and this is just kind of blank. There's not a ton going on in this area. You just walk from here to here, and so we can shorten that, and we have shortened it on our memory, and so we can shorten it in our representation of this space. if you think back to Te Pehikupe, and I know this is a bit of a stretch, but if you think all the way back to that first image that we looked at the start of class, he had given us a visual of where his different tattoos were. So he had these kind of these little C things over here, and then there were some lines here, and he was showing us not how his face looked with all of the detail of shading and depth and things like that, but he gave us an understanding of where things were, and this was kind of flattened out into a map. We are sort of doing a similar sort of thing where we're reducing or emphasizing things based on their visual importance as reminders to us.